By the time you get the layoff email, your job was cut 90 days ago. The decision was made in a room you weren't in a spreadsheet you never saw. The email is just the paperwork catching up to a choice that's already final. Here's what nobody tells you. Layoffs aren't sudden. They're the last domino in a chain of quiet signals that leak out for months before HR ever says a word. And most people ignore every single one. So today I'm going to teach you to read those signals, the same ones executives and finance teams see long before you do. Because the goal isn't to survive a layoff. It's to be halfway out the door before it's even announced. Let's start with the earliest signal of all, the budget freeze that nobody calls a budget freeze. It never arrives as an announcement. It shows up as friction. Suddenly that software license you needed for months is under review. The conference got postponed. The new hire your team was promised is now paused until next quarter. Individually these look like minor annoyances. Together, they're a company quietly slamming the brakes. When money stops flowing to tools, travel, and hiring, it's because someone upstairs is protecting cash. And you don't protect cash unless you're worried about it. The second signal is even quieter, the sudden obsession with documentation. One day your manager wants everything written down. Processes, passwords, how you handle your key accounts, step-by-step guides to your daily work. It gets framed as knowledge sharing or improving our systems. But ask yourself, why does a company suddenly need your job written down so anyone could do it? Sometimes it's genuine. But often, documentation is the company making you replaceable before they replace you. You're training your own backup and don't even know it. Signal 3, the org chart starts shape-shifting. Reorganizations are where layoffs hide in plain sight. Watch for teams getting merged. Watch for your skip-level leader leaving and not being replaced. Watch for two managers suddenly sharing one title. Every reorg is a chance to quietly delete roles. When leadership reshuffles the boxes, some boxes disappear, and the people in them go with them. If your role gets absorbed into someone else's during a reorg, that's not a promotion for them. It might be an exit for you. Now here's a signal most people get completely backwards: your workload suddenly gets lighter. We're trained to fear being overworked. But in the months before a layoff, the danger sign is the opposite. You stop getting invited to the meetings that matter. Big projects get handed to someone else. Your calendar quietly empties out. Being left out isn't a break. It's a preview. Companies stop investing your time in the future when they don't see you in that future. If you feel strangely sidelined, don't relax, pay attention. Signal 5 lives in the numbers you can actually look up. If you work at a public company, read the earnings calls. Search for words like efficiency, streamlining, right-sizing, or operational discipline. That's the corporate dialect for cutting people. When a CEO promises Wall Street they'll reduce costs, the biggest cost is payroll. For startups, watch the funding. If the last raise was 18 months ago and there's no new round, the runway is shrinking. No fresh cash plus rising burn equals cuts. You don't need insider access, you need to read what's already public. Signal 6 is human, not financial, the exodus of people who know things. When several senior people or well-connected veterans quietly leave in a short window, pay close attention. These are people who often see the strategy before it's public. They're not leaving because things are great. They're leaving because they saw the next chapter and decided not to be in it. And when leadership itself churns, a VP resigns, a director pursues other opportunities with no warning, that instability rolls downhill. Chaos at the top almost always becomes cuts at the bottom. So let's say you're seeing these signals. Here's the part that actually changes your life, what you do in those 90 days. First, quietly update your resume and LinkedIn now, while you still have a job and a clear head. Job searching from employment is a position of strength. Job searching from panic, after the email, is a position of weakness, and recruiters can smell the difference. Second, reactivate your network before you need it. Don't message people the day you're cut asking for favors. Message them now, warmly, with no ask. grab coffee. Comment on their work. A network you build in calm is worth 10 times one you beg from in crisis. Third, start banking evidence of your wins. Screenshot the metrics, the praise, the results you drove. Once you're laid off, you lose access to all of it. Your future interviews are won with specific numbers, and this is the only window to collect them. Fourth, build a small financial buffer starting today. Even trimming a little and stacking cash gives you something priceless, the ability to say no to a bad offer instead of grabbing the first lifeline out of fear. And here's the mindset shift that ties it all together. Spotting these signals early isn't about being paranoid or cynical about your employer. It's about refusing to be surprised. The people who get destroyed by layoffs aren't the ones who get cut, everyone risks that. They're the ones who get cut with zero preparation, no resume, no network, no savings, and a story of shock instead of a story of readiness. Loyalty is good. But loyalty without awareness is just risk you've decided not to look at. Your company is running the numbers on you constantly. It's only fair that you run the numbers on them too. So watch the frozen budgets. Watch the documentation requests. Watch the reorgs, the empty calendar, the earnings language, and the people quietly walking out. When 2 or 3 of these stack up at once, that's your 90-day clock starting. The layoff email isn't the beginning of your story. It's the end of a story that started months earlier. Learn to read the opening chapters, and you'll never be caught on the last page again.